It's been about a year since the Triple H era began in WWE. While the landscape of WWE hasn't changed all that much, there have been some improvements. Raw and SmackDown don't feel as sluggish as they once were, the mid-card titles, mainly the Intercontinental, feel a bit more important, and there's just been an overall rise in the quality of WWE's pay-per-views. One of the first things Triple H did when Vince McMahon stepped away was bring back a whole bunch of superstars who had either been released or just didn't resign. I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of these rehired superstars haven't done much since coming back, but we'll get into all of that. So from worst to best, here is my ranking of every Triple H rehire. Be sure to give the video a like and consider subscribing for more ranked videos, top 10s, and tier lists. Number 15, Emma. In her first night back, she accepted Ronda Rousey's open challenge and it was a genuine surprise. Obviously she lost, but it was nice to see her back. Other than that, she's done pretty much nothing since returning. She's been in multiple one-off tag teams and hasn't had an actual storyline or feud. The closest thing to a feud Emma has had would probably be her and Riddick Moss getting picked on by Karrion Kross and Scarlett. She's pretty much just another face in the crowd, which is a shame because I enjoyed her as a heel and her partnership with Dana Brooke back in the day. Number 14, Hit Row. Hit Row has done nothing except lose and lose and lose. The crowd doesn't really care about them and they don't really have a reason to in the first place. It's just not working for them right now. They don't feel like a complete act like they did when they had Swerve leading them. The best thing about Hit Row currently is Top Dollar being roasted by Michael Cole every Friday on commentary. I wish I had an idea or two about what WWE could do with Hit Row, but to be honest, I don't really have a clue. They probably just need to go back to NXT and flesh out their gimmick a bit more. Number 13, The Good Brothers. The Good Brothers had a shock return. They reformed the OC and also added Mia Yim to the group, but once AJ Styles got injured, they were not on TV whatsoever. They're back on TV now that AJ's back from injury, but it's been nearly a year and I can't think of one notable thing they've done since being rehired by WWE. I guess Carl Anderson having a match at Wrestle Kingdom was pretty cool, but that's more of a New Japan moment. I enjoyed them more in Impact, but hey, they're probably making a lot more money in WWE. Number 12, Tegan Nox. She returned to WWE with her hair dyed and her jeans ripped, and yeah, she helped Liv Morgan fight off Damage Control on SmackDown, then her and Liv Morgan actually defeated Shayna Baszler and then Women's Champion Ronda Rousey, which, seems like a big deal. I completely forgot that ever even happened, but good for Nox in her first match back. Tegan Nox was drafted to Raw and seemed as if she was going to be a heel. She cut a cocky little pre-recorded promo on Main Event before she faced Dana Brooke. Then a month later, we see her smiling and high-fiving everyone in the front row with her tag team partner, Dana Brooke. I don't know. Number 11, Bray Wyatt. A bunch of QR codes, a lot of hype, a very cool return, but everything after the return has been crap. Uncle Howdy? Crap. The promos with him just being normal Bray Wyatt were fine until it really ended up going nowhere? Crap. Mountain Dew glow-in-the-dark match with LA Knight? Crap. Teasing the whole Alexa Bliss thing? Crap. The feud with Bobby Lashley that didn't happen and Bray hasn't been seen since? Crap. Bray Wyatt does have a vision for what he's trying to go for, but he probably just needs some glasses though, because that vision is not super clear. He is currently not cleared for in-ring competition right now, so that sucks for him, but regardless, it hasn't been that great of a return. Number 10, Dexter Lumis. Dexter Lumis had a silly little storyline with The Miz where he was like stalking him or whatever, but it turned out to be a publicity stunt. I think. He was owed money, so he took the money, but The Miz got the money back in a ladder match. I don't even know if I'm 100% correct on that. I just don't really care. I really do like Dexter Lumis. Him and The Way were one of my favorite groups in wrestling at the time back in NXT. But damn, the most notable thing he's done is help Indy Hartwell win the NXT Women's title in a ladder match. Hoping for the best for Dexter Lumis. Number 9, Candice LeRae. I like Candice LeRae. She's really good and she's pretty underused. Since coming back to WWE after having her and Johnny Gargano's firstborn, she hasn't gotten to do much. Candice LeRae has kind of been in a stop-start storyline with Nikki Cross for a while now, and most recently she teamed with Indy Hartwell again. Once The Way are back in full force, that'll be a chance for Candice, Indy, Dexter, and Johnny to have something to do on the main roster finally. Number 8, Valhalla. She's a spooky one, isn't she? Sarah Logan was released from WWE, made a one-off appearance in the 2022 Royal Rumble, then came back as Valhalla, teaming up with the Viking Raiders, which is still a stupid name. Recently, she's been feuding with Maxine Dupree in Alpha Academy alongside her big goth Viking friends, but other than that, she's just kind of there. The Viking Raiders haven't been elevated with her in the mix, and it isn't her fault, but I mean still, she just hasn't done much of anything except for wrestle barefoot and stand there all spooky-like. Number 7, Mia Yim. Another another somewhat shocking return here. Mia Yim showed up out of nowhere to join the OC. The only big thing she's done since returning to the WWE has been competing in that Women's War Games match at Survivor Series. Other than that, she lost a qualifying match for Money in the Bank and has been helping AJ Styles fight off Scarlett and Karrion Kross on SmackDown. The reason I put her higher here than some of the others on this list is because at least she's, on TV, and it seems that they really see something in her. You just don't shove anyone in the OC, and she's been featured on SmackDown with AJ Styles. Mia Yim at least is there, unlike the Good Brothers. Number 6, Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Nearly forgot to put these two on the list, so that just, that's a start. When Kross and Scarlett returned, they were almost instantly thrown into a story with Roman Reigns. Their attention was mainly on Drew McIntyre, but it seemed like they had big plans in their future. After a meh feud with McIntyre, Kross just began pretty much losing to everyone. Rey Mysterio, Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles. He'd call them out, read some kind of tarot card or whatever, and then lose to them. He doesn't feel like a threat, and his stock in the company just keeps getting lower and lower. I just can't really take him seriously, and on the rare occasion that he gets a win, I'm, shocked. I've never been the biggest fan of Kross, but at least he looked like a killer in NXT. The main roster has not been kind to that man. And Scarlett, well, she's just by his side at all times, so might as well lump her together with Kross. Number 5, Bronson Reed. He returned to help The Miz win some money in a ladder match, and kinda did nothing for a while, then had a pretty solid Elimination Chamber performance. And then recently, he's been built up fairly well. He had a US title triple threat match against Lashley and Theory at Backlash, which was pretty good. He didn't qualify for Money in the Bank this year, but he has been destroying Ricochet and Nakamura on Monday Night Raw. So recently, he's been doing a bit better than when he first was brought back. Number 4, Johnny Gargano. While Johnny has had more to do on the main roster than his way stablemates, it hasn't been much. He helped Dexter Lumis in his feud with The Miz. He had a good showing in that United States title Elimination Chamber match, and that's been pretty much it. His return came out of nowhere and got a great reaction, so you'd think Triple H would be thrilled to book the heart and soul of NXT in some important angles. Johnny Gargano had some unfinished business with a certain loudmouth Aussie back in NXT, and he had a fun match with Grayson Waller at Stand and Deliver. Again, just like Candice, once the Way get their first story on the main roster, maybe we'll get to see a lot more of Johnny wrestling. Number 3, Braun Strowman. Strowman has found some success. He had a match with Omos at Crown Jewel that was pretty good. Then he made that silly little tweet about wrestlers who are flippy. Then he lost to notable flippy wrestler Ricochet in the SmackDown World Cup. You remember that? The SmackDown World Cup? He then formed a fun little tag team with Ricochet and is currently injured, I believe, so get well soon, big man. But overall, he's had a pretty good return back to the company. When he gets back from injury, maybe he'll do some more important things. But overall, like I was saying, he's had a solid little comeback. Number 2, Chelsea Green. I believe she returned at the Royal Rumble this year and was eliminated pretty quickly. She started a Karen gimmick that at first I didn't really care for and thought was a little cringy. The whole asking for the manager and complaining type of thing. But she's really good in her role and it's, it's starting to grow on me. She also formed a tag team with Sonya Deville, which I really enjoy their chemistry together. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville recently ran through a women's tag team gauntlet match to become #1 contenders for Liv and Raquel's women's tag team titles. So I'd say she's had a pretty alright run so far. Number 1, Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai, I'm pretty sure, was Triple H's first rehire, and personally, I think she's been the best one. She returned at SummerSlam to be a part of Damage Control along with Bayley, who returned from injury, and Io Sky, who was called up from NXT. Dakota and Io would go on to win the women's tag titles twice. Kai also competed in that Women's War Games match and had a pretty good showing in the Royal Rumble. I think she eliminated like 5 people. Damage Control would have a big match at WrestleMania, facing off against Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, and Lita. They lost the match, but I mean, it's Lita and Trish, so I don't think the loss was that damaging. Dakota recently got injured, which is truly unfortunate. But on the upside, I think she's recovering well. A very good return and a very eventful first year in her second run with WWE. We'll have to see what she does when she returns from injury. Thank you all for watching the video. Did you like it? If not, well then darn. It's crazy to think that Dakota Kai is the only person on this list who has won a championship since coming back. I would have assumed a few others on this list would have been pushed to the moon. But it's only been about a year for some of these guys and gals, so we'll just have to wait and see. Who on this list do you think should win a title or two? Let me know in the comments. I have a huge tier list coming out very soon where I look at the entire WWE main roster, so be on the lookout for that. Also, I have my Dumb Little Wrestling podcast out every Wednesday morning. Give me some more ideas about what I should rank, and I will see you, whenever I see you. Goodbye.